right, this is our first video. We actually get our hands dirty and we fire up our tool chain that we're gonna do for most of the class. And if you're on a Mac, which is where I am right now, we're gonna be using Xcode and the playground to do our code. But if you don't have a Mac, you'll be needing to use Replit. And I did a video on Replit as well. So make sure you check out that video for doing the first toolchain Hello World. So what I like to do is do Command Space. Command Space will bring up Spotlight Search. And here I can type in XCO for Xcode, and it finds Xcode. Basically, you can type in any string you want, any set of characters, and the particular order does matter. And what you can do is find almost anything on your Mac. And so this is finding Xcode, the application. So we'll go ahead and hit enter there. It will bring up this splash screen. Don't worry about these things on the right. Those are things that will be different for every student depending on the projects that you've done. What we're interested in is starting a new project. So we're going to go over here to the left and it says get started with Playground. That's what we want. So we're going to click on that button. And then you'll see here it pops up a dialog and it gives us 4 different choices of ways to sort of start out the playground. It'll give you some initial setup. We just want to do blank. And in fact, most of the course will start out with blank. We'll hit next. And now we're going to give it a name. I'm going to let it just default to My Playground and hit create. Now I've already created a My Playground, which I don't care about keeping around. So I'm fine for it to overwrite it. So I'm going to hit replace. And I now have a new playground. So you'll notice here in this dialog box, we have a couple of Swift statements, which we haven't really been very much introduced to at all. In fact, the import statement we haven't talked about. Don't worry about that. Just leave it there. It doesn't hurt anything. Eventually, we'll get into what that does. And then down here, there is a statement which, unless you've taken the variable module and talked about that, that's not going to make much sense either. So what we're going to do is I'm going to just, and by the way, if you get this dialog in the middle of it, it's just saying that, hey, I need permission to do some of the debugging things that we need to do. So I'm going to go ahead and put in my administrator password or my password for my account just to allow this to happen. And once you get that, you shouldn't get that often or again. So what we're going to do is go here to the variable or the statement at location 3, and I'm going to just click from the left to the right side, highlight it, and hit delete. And now I've deleted that statement completely. But what I want to do is this print statement that you've just talked about as part of our Hello World program. So what I'm going to do is type in print and then open Paren, and I'm going to start out with a quote, and I'm going to say hello world, and I have now typed in a legal Swift statement. Now you'll notice if while you're typing you've left certain things out or whatever, you will get error messages here. So you'll see, hey, it expected a closed paren here, and that's because Xcode is always compiling. It's always looking at your syntax as you're typing, and sometimes that can be very distracting. So what I would suggest is, for example, if over here, let's go back and do this again. So I have print. As soon as I do open paren, now I haven't finished typing yet, but you'll notice it's giving me some completions of different things I can do here. Not a lot of these mean much, but as soon as I do this, you'll see, hey, it was saying that there was some illegal thing going on, but then it took it away because it now put the balancing quotes and the balancing parentheses in for me. So again, I'm going to just type in hello world, world, spell it correctly. And now we want to run this. We want to actually have it do this. And the way we do that is right here on this little play arrow, we just hit play. And what it's going to do is not only syntactically check it, which it already did, but it's going to compile it and actually make it so the CPU in your computer knows how to do this. And sure enough, down here at the bottom, we see we have hello world. And so that's great. That's essentially what we mean by getting a tool chain up and running and doing your first program. So this is hello world.